Hello ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, innies, outies and in-betweeners. Welcome back to another PAP Reports. Today is Thursday the 6th of February 2020. And today we're starting with an incident from Russia. Now normally I try to keep these reports to the UK only, otherwise I'd be at it all day and these videos would be hours long. But I thought I would include this one today. 33-year-old Vladimir Sankin from Ofar in Russia has been arrested and is facing 15 years in jail, accused of intentional infliction of grave bodily harm resulting in the death of the victim by negligence, after saving a young boy from a convicted paedophile and then beating him to death. Not the boy, the paedophile. Mechanic Vladimir answered a call for help from a teenage boy whose friend had been locked in a flat of 54-year-old convicted paedophile Vladimir Zaitsev. He responded to the boy's plea for help by rushing to the flat where he could hear the other boy crying from within. He forced his way in and freed the 14-year-old boy who was being held against his will. Zaitsev, who owned the flat, had ordered the young boy to undress under threat of being killed and dismembered with an axe, said Sankin. After ensuring the boy was safe, Sankin took Zaitsev outside and proceeded to beat him with a wooden stick while he waited for police. Zaitsev had only recently been released from prison for attacks on other children. Currently, a petition to have Sankin released from charges has tens of thousands of signatures and claims that the man died after falling and hitting his head during the fight. His wife Polona said, "I'm entirely on his side for not walking out on the boys because no one knows what would have happened next if he turned a blind eye." Now I know I've said many times I don't agree with violence unless there is immediate threat to life, but I personally do see a paedophile attack as an immediate threat to life. And I have to say, if I come across someone doing this to a young child, I would certainly have to wade in and teach them a lesson. Let me know what you think in the comments. 65-year-old former British Transport Police Constable Billy Jones from Pontypridd has been given a 4-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years and ordered to carry out 180 hours of unpaid work after admitting to an act tendering or intending to pervert the course of justice. Jones, who left the force some 30 years ago after 15 years with British Transport Police, was recorded speeding at 88 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone on the A30 in Cornwall on July 18, 2018. In an attempt to evade punishment, he claimed another man had been driving, which ended up costing the police thousands to investigate. Judge Bob Linford said, "It honestly is absolutely beyond belief. You embarked on an absolutely astonishing campaign of leading the police right round the houses of South Wales on a complete goose chase." Jones, who set up a security firm after leaving the police, was convicted of a public order incident in 2015 which disqualified him from having a security licence. In 2017 he was given a suspended sentence after being convicted of acting as a licensed security guard without a security licence. He was ordered to pay a £100 fine for breaching a previous suspended sentence order and $2,800 in prosecution costs. Judge Linford said, "Jones's actions had been an insane campaign of behaviour that led the police on a real merry dance and cost them thousands of pounds." You'd think after having a suspended sentence before and breaching that, he wouldn't get another suspended sentence. A 5-month-long investigation by the IOPC into PC Marcus Esterson has concluded in a written warning. Esterson, a Metropolitan Police Constable, admitted to failing to adhere to policies and procedures prior to a traffic collision in which a man sustained serious injuries. PC Marcus Esterson, based at Colindale Police Station, received the sanction at a hearing on Monday the 27th of January. Prior to the disciplinary hearing, the officer accepted that his behaviour fell short of the acceptable standards, amounting to gross misconduct, when he pursued a silver Vauxhall Astra car in North London in August 2018. Due to the serious injuries sustained by the 50-year-old man who was knocked over by the marked police car driven by PC Esterson while in a pursuit, the Met referred the incident to the IOPC. The IOPC said PC Esterson was interviewed during the course of our investigation. The file was passed to Crown Prosecution Service, who decided not to bring any criminal charges. IOPC Regional Director Sal Nassim said, "Following our thorough and expeditious investigation and confronted with the evidence we had gathered, PC Esterson accepted responsibility for his actions prior to the hearing, admitting his decision-making on that evening when pursuing the Astra was lacking, amounting to gross misconduct. The independent disciplinary panel assessed that evidence and decided that PC Esterson, who is not a poor officer, should receive a written warning. As an organisation, the IOPC is aiming to increase public confidence in policing and improve police standards, which is why it's refreshing to note the officer acknowledged his actions were below par prior to the disciplinary hearing. This is a prime example of a culture of learning the IOPC wants to see, accepting and acknowledging when mistakes have been made and taking steps to address them, says the man from the IOPC. Oh dear. Detective Constable Nick Gravener from Dorset Police will be facing a misconduct hearing between Monday and Wednesday next week, accused of breaching the standards of professional behaviour, of authority, respect and courtesy, and discreditable conduct. Gone for a full house. It is alleged that Gravener used inappropriate sexualised language and unwanted physical contact of a sexual nature amounting to gross misconduct. It is also alleged that Gravener accessed police information without a legitimate policing purpose, therefore also breaching the standard of professional behaviour of confidentiality. I'll bring you updates on this as and when they're available in future PAP reports. A man who caught machete-wielding burglars stealing his cars on CCTV claims that the police didn't bother to look at the footage when he offered it to them. 23-year-old Usman Mohammed woke to find his Audi S3 and Volkswagen Polo missing from the driveway of the home he shares with his parents and sisters in Manchester. When he checked the CCTV, he saw 4 men with a foot-long machete had broken into his house before taking his keys and making off with both vehicles. The keys to the vehicles were kept by his bedside, meaning that the thieves had to enter his room while he was asleep to get them. Usman claims that when he contacted the police, they told him the crime was unfortunate, but failed to investigate his CCTV evidence. Usman said, 2 people entered my home with knives and the police don't seem to care. I live with my parents and 2 sisters. It was scary. If my family or I had woken up, we could have been held at knife point or stabbed. When the PCSO came round, he just said, just be careful, and that it was unfortunate. It felt like he just wasn't interested. He didn't even take the CCTV. It looked like he couldn't be bothered. I feel anger towards the police. It hasn't been treated seriously. CCTV footage shows the 4 men hanging around outside his home for around 40 minutes before making off with the cars. When he reported the crime to Greater Manchester Police, he received a visit from a police community support officer. However, Usman claims when he tried to get him to take a look at the video footage, he was told there was nothing that could be done and advised to just be careful. After finding out that the police hadn't done any inquiries in the area, he made a complaint on Twitter where he received an instant apology, although still the police have done nothing more. Usman said, I feel like the police may as well not be there. They just didn't seem to care. If I was drunk in the middle of town, they would care. I would probably have 2 or 3 officers trying to move me. No, you'd have 2 or 3 officers arresting you, not trying to move you. It was not a normal robbery. There was a machete involved and now I don't feel safe. Greater Manchester Police confirmed they were called about the robbery and said no arrests have been made, with inquiries ongoing. Neil Basu, the Metropolitan's Assistant Commissioner and most senior counter-terrorism officer, has said that he needs our help to stop future terror attacks because it's not possible to watch the approximate 3,000 extremist suspects as it's too many for them to deal with. He said he hoped bystanders would raise the alarm about suspicious conduct and remain vigilant at all times, adding that the threat of terrorism in the UK is not diminishing, following a 3rd attack in 3 months. Basu also hailed the courage of the officers involved in stopping attacker and convicted terrorist Sudesh Aman and said he backed the government's plan to keep extremists locked up for longer. Yes, because you wouldn't be able to make the public fearful if the police had actually stopped him before he attacked anyone, would you? As for locking up terrorists for longer, I'm not against it, but what I am against is that these people are literally allowed to serve their sentence and then come back into the public after their sentence. Why are these people not being kicked out of the country on release? It would be far cheaper to pay for their flight out of the country and then maybe work the borders correctly to stop them coming back in than it would be to cover the costs of the aftermath of these attacks. The police suggest they know where these people are, but simply can't keep an eye on them. So go round them all and kick them the fuck out of our country. They clearly don't deserve to be here and don't respect being here. And anyone who is caught with even the smallest connection to terrorism should be deported after their sentence. I think that's a bigger problem at the moment than simply overstayers or illegal immigrants. Anyway, Basu said, part of the solution must be ensuring those who pose the greatest threat to our society are removed from it. Yes, kick them out of the country. And so my colleagues and I are supportive of the government's plan to strengthen the ability to keep the most dangerous terrorists locked up for longer. Yeah, we don't mind paying for that, do we, people? But all parts of the system are responsible, and crucially, that includes communities themselves. What about Border Patrol? We need your help to stop vulnerable people from being drawn down the path that leads to the awful violence we saw on Sunday. So, deport them after their sentence. Simples. I'm horrified, to be honest, to know that a team of around 20 police were following Sudesh Aman around the clock since his release from Belmarsh prison, and he was still able to do what he did. I don't know. Cressida Dick said, I wish I could assure the public that everybody who poses a risk on the streets could be subject to some sort of thing that would stop them being able to stab anybody ever. But it's not clearly that possible. And that sounds like a sentence made up by a 5-year-old. Well, I said it in my live stream. The police know who these people are. Rather than waiting for them to do something, go and disrupt them. If someone is on a terror watch list, then clearly there is grounds for stop and search. If you're stopping and searching these people at every opportunity, they will soon realise that they can't get away with leaving a house with a weapon or walk the streets with weapons. Stop hounding and harassing people on the off chance they might have a 10 bag of weed on them, and simply concentrate on the real dangers of society. I know if I was hounded by police because I was genuinely suspected to be involved with, I don't know, anything, and stopped multiple times a day, I'd soon give up going out, or I'd soon stop doing what I was doing. And I think the public would be far more grateful if you were out catching the terrorists and disrupting them than trying to find some pothead in a park having a spliff. It's said that there are 224 terrorists in prison in Britain, with most thought to be holding Islamist extremist views according to latest published figures to the end of last September. As many as 50 terrorists could be freed from jail this year. Well, now imagine if you simply take them from prison on release, escort them to an airport, take them on a plane back to wherever the fuck they come from, see them off the plane, and they're no longer our responsibility. Now, is it just me? Does that seem like a reasonable thing to do? Or should we continue letting these people back into our communities to cause the damage they're doing? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials. Good night, all. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.